Hi, welcome back. My name is Rajni and this video is for freshers who have just got their first job. So today we'll be talking about how freshers can be successful at their very first job and how to plan their career and how they work and how to behave at the workplace. So let's start. So you've landed your very first job, so congratulations for that. So now let's talk about what are some of the things that you can do at your new workplace to excel. So number one is to listen. I know you could be good at a lot of things. Maybe you were the most popular person in college, maybe you were really good at sports or dramatics, or you have some kind of talent. But when you are at a new workplace, the first thing to do is to listen. You should listen to all your seniors, your boss, whatever is being told to you, you should listen attentively and try to follow everything that is being told to you. Now you must be thinking, what is so difficult about listening? You'd be surprised. When you don't have to follow rules like college, when there aren't your teachers or any seniors always telling you what to do, and when you taste independence and freedom for the first time, it is really difficult to listen. In fact, there are separate training modules on effective listening that even top management professionals still attend. So it is a good idea to read up on these things and to become a good listener. Number two is to show interest. So chances are that when you join your first job, they will give you some kind of training and there would be some kind of download where they show you how the product works or how the services work and what is the process that you need to follow. You may have to study a little bit again and to understand how everything works. Try to show interest and curiosity when this happens and don't go into that zone where you feel like this is too boring or this is becoming too heavy for me, I can't study this much again, or you may want to do fun stuff because when you go to a new place you make new friends and the surroundings are new, the environment is new, so it's difficult to feel like that is more fun and you don't really want to spend time to learn the new things that your seniors may be trying to teach you. So make sure that you show the right attitude and a lot of curiosity and willingness to learn, and that you show interest in everything that is being taught to you. Number three is to read up on the SOPs and policies. Now SOPs are your standard operating procedures, which means that these are the rules that your company follows or the business that you're a part of or the process that you're a part of. They follow a certain set of rules to do your work the way you're supposed to do it. So most companies would have a printed set of SOPs or they would have it on your computer, or sometimes even if they don't have a written SOP, then they can tell you that this is how things are supposed to be done and these are the rules that you have to follow while doing your work. So you can always take the initiative to read up the SOPs beforehand and to know how your company functions and how your big business functions in order to make a good impression. Number four is to shadow your team members or your colleagues, which means that these are the people who were already in your team before you joined the company and they've been doing your work or work that is similar to what you are going to do or some sort of work in the same business. It is a good idea to shadow these people, which means that you follow them and see how they're doing their work, see how they work on their systems, what kind of phrases are they using on, for example, on calls, or how do they write their emails, how are they interacting in meetings, how are they talking to their seniors. So you can watch them and learn. This is on the job practice. So by just watching them and shadowing them, you can learn how they work every day and you can take out the best work practices from that. Next is to ask questions. So when you're shadowing your mentors and your colleagues and you see how they are working and what kind of processes they are following, how they are talking, of course you will have questions, right? So try to ask these questions, because if you keep them inside and keep thinking about them, they will never get answered because the other person doesn't even know that you have these doubts or questions. So it's always a good idea to ask questions and also to make notes of these answers, because you may ask 10 questions every day and you may forget what you asked and what kind of answers you got. So keep asking questions and keep making notes. This will also show your team members, your mentors and your boss that you're curious and you're willing to learn. So these are all good qualities that can make a good impression. Number 6 is to take initiatives. Now, any company and especially a team works like machinery where they work like clockwork and everybody is multitasking, which means that each member in the team has multiple responsibilities. They are doing a lot of things at once, and here you can shine by taking an initiative. Taking an initiative means that you offer to your team members or to your boss that I can do some work on my own. For example, let's say your client sends some new updates or some new information. In this case, you can offer to your boss and say, hey, do you want me to type this up on my system and print it out and share it with each team member so that they can put it on their workstation and they can refer to it? So when you think about it, it's a very small gesture because you already got the information. Maybe you have more time than the rest of the team because they're working on multiple things, and you can quickly type it up and print it out and hand it to the team members. So it's not a big thing that you're doing, but when you offer to do something like this and take an initiative, it will definitely make a really good impression. Number 7 is to support your boss and your team members. Now, chances are that during your training period, you would have a lot of extra time that your boss is giving to you to learn new things and to settle down in the team. While you're learning new things, you can also try and support your team members. Here what you can do is when they're working on something and, for example, they need to make an easy report or collate some information, you can say, hey, can I do this for you? Or if they are trying to leave a voicemail, for example, you can say, can I leave this message for you? Can I help you in drafting an email? Can I help you in passing on a message, for example? So here you are supporting your team members, which will also encourage team building and being a part of the team, being a good team player. So you will learn to be a part of the team, and they may also return the favor tomorrow when you may need help. Similarly, if you're helping your boss in making simple reports or to run some small errands, you will also win your boss's affection, and he will also try to help you in the future when you need help. Number 8 is to be professional, which means to look and act professional. What this means is that you pay attention to how you're dressing and presenting yourself at work. I actually covered this a little bit in my last video, which was about how to present yourself in an interview, where I talked in detail about what kind of clothes you should be wearing, what kind of accessories, and your personal hygiene. So you can refer to that video. But overall, you should always look professional and wear formal clothes. Try not to be too hip hop, too cool, or too like Yo-Yo Honey Singh. So you should be simple and formal when you go to work. You should also be carrying the right kind of accessories, which is the kind of bag that you carry, how you organize yourself and things like that. And also act professional, which is to be professional and formal and not act too casual. So you shouldn't be over friendly with your colleagues, you shouldn't be cracking jokes that can be offensive to somebody, and just present yourself as a serious person who's focused on their career and somebody who wants to learn and to perform. Next is to manage gossip. So when this is a new job for you, you don't really know your co-workers too well, you don't know your boss too well, or how things function in this company. So it's always a good idea to steer clear of gossip. What this means is that your colleagues or your team members could be talking bad about your boss or about another colleague or about the systems and practices and the policies of the company. Try not to participate in this kind of talk, which means that when they're talking about something, let's say they're talking bad about your boss, you shouldn't say something like, oh yeah, I hate our boss too, or I don't like this person, his attitude is really bad, because you never know, this person can turn around and go tell your boss exactly what you said and get you into trouble. And similarly, they can talk to other people also about this. And also this question always comes up, that if this person is talking bad to me about another person, maybe he's talking bad about me to a different person. So it's always a good idea to stay clear of gossip or talking bad about people and just focus on your work and be professional. Number 10 is to maintain good hygiene. So when I talk about hygiene, I don't mean washing your hands often, although that's not a bad idea. But hygiene at work means how disciplined are you? So this means, are you coming to work on time? Are you working for as many hours as you're required to? How many breaks are you taking, or are you exceeding your breaks? Now, like I said earlier, when you start a new job, there is newfound independence and freedom. So you can work the way you want to work. But don't think that your seniors are not noticing. Your seniors might not talk to you about these things, but they always document the way you're behaving at work. So if you come to work late one day or the second day, the third day, but when it becomes a practice, they always start making notes of these things, and also your breaks. So if you're missing for long periods of time and you are always exceeding your breaks, you are loitering around or hanging out too much with your friends, then like I said, your boss or your mentors or your trainers or your seniors, they might not always come and tell you these things, but all of this goes into your records and all of this gets documented, which can be brought up later when your work is being assessed. So be very careful about how you behave at work and how disciplined you are. Number 11 is a really important one. This one is about making mistakes. So obviously when you're doing something new, you will make mistakes, and everybody knows that, and nobody would blame you for doing that. So when you work a new job and you start doing something new, you take new responsibilities, there are chances that you will make mistakes and there would be errors or maybe slight escalations. Don't freak out and stay calm, and always inform your supervisors. So when you make a mistake, instead of trying to fix it yourself, it's always the best idea to go to your supervisor and to tell them that I've made a mistake and this has happened. Let them fix it for you, or let them tell you how to fix it, because when you are inexperienced, when you try to fix it yourself, chances are that you would cause more damage than already done. So let the experienced ones handle it and learn from this experience. Number 12 is to always follow SOPs. Now, like I told you earlier, SOPs are rules that are set for a reason. SOPs mean that you have to do things a certain way. So sometimes what happens is when you start a new job and a lot of people are guiding you and giving you advice, you may want to deviate from what you learned and to listen to what a senior might have told you. But it's always best to go by the book, and here by book I mean your SOPs. So SOPs, like I said, is how your process has to be followed and how the business has to be done. So later on, let's say you make a mistake or you do something that gets you into trouble. If you say that this person told me to do this, you will still get into more trouble. But if you say that it's in the book or it's in the SOPs, then chances are that you will not get into trouble and people would support what you did, because once it goes into the book, then everybody has to do what it says. Number 13 is not to assume anything. So what this means is that when you are new at your job, don't assume and think that, okay, I could do this and this could have meant something. Always clarify it with a senior team member or your supervisor or your boss. So when there is doubt or when something is ambiguous and you're not sure of exactly what needs to be done, don't make assumptions, don't make guesses, and don't try new things. Always go to your seniors and tell them that this is what I need to do. Is it okay if I do this? And they will tell you what is the right thing to do. Number 14 is don't take any decisions, especially when you're new. So while you're settling in, you're just learning things, make sure that you're not taking any major decisions without checking with anyone, because you're just not experienced enough, you are not competent enough, and you're not established enough to take major decisions. So for example, if you notice that the client has sent an email and they're talking about something important, don't think that you can take the initiative and just reply to that email and to give information to the client. This is a major decision and a major communication. So it's always better to discuss what kind of decisions or what kind of initiatives you want to take and go to your boss and tell them this. In this case, they might appreciate that you are looking to take initiative, and they'll guide you the right way and tell you whether your decision was right or not. So don't take decisions alone. And the last point is to give your best and to perform consistently. So I always talk about it where when you are at work, you should always strive to do your best and to be the best performer in the team to shine in the team and to have your presence noted. So always try to excel at what you do, try really hard to perform really well, and once you've done that, try to maintain that. So this shouldn't be a one-off thing. You should be a consistent performer and you should make your boss and your team proud. Okay, so those were some points that I wanted to share with you in order to have you excel at your very first job. So take this opportunity to shine and to show people that you have it in you to become the best performer of the team. And I wish you the best, and I hope that you become a really good performer and that you impress everyone in your team and in your organization. If you think these points will help you, please comment below and let me know what you thought. And like I always say, please like and share this video. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to this channel so that you can view such content in the future as well. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.